All right, it's Monday, December 7th, 2020, and this is your weekly look at the Altos Research data that came in over the weekend for the entire US real estate market. Each week, Altos tracks every home for sale in the US, all the pricing, the changes in pricing, the supply and demand, and we make those analytics available to our customers so that you can see the trends in the US housing market before it becomes available through the traditional channels. Later this week on Wednesday, December 9th, we'll have our monthly webinar where we'll wrap up the 2020 market data and we'll work through the big themes of what to expect in 2021. We have real visibility on next year's market trends already. So if you're a professional in the real estate industry, you should plan to attend. The link to register is in the description below here. If you're watching this video after Wednesday, December 9th, go to altosresearch.com and contact us to ask for a recording or subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get the alerts. Okay, market data for the first week of December 2020. Last week's data includes the weekend after Thanksgiving. We could see the annual drop in new supply right on schedule. So the total available inventory of single family homes in the US is down to just over 480,000 this week. We have 3 more data points in 2020 and then 2 more in January before we see the seasonal new inventory for the first quarter of 2021 starting to reset. So that'll be the 2nd and 3rd week of January for that spring buying season. Each week since the first week, since the end of August, our new listing volume, that the total number of homes coming to market each week, has been totally normal. So our shortage is a function of like a decade-long trend of cheap holding costs, low rates primarily, coupled with high demand, and then that acute pullback in March and April of this year. So January 2021, we should expect to see 50 to 60,000 new listings each week. If we're materially lower than that, that'll be a new signal for how the market will travel for the whole year. So we're going to keep our eye in that 2nd, 3rd week of January to understand inventory for all of 2021. Here's a look at the price arc for how the year is shaping up. Median home price in the US is just over $347,000 this week. It's down a fraction from last week, which it should be in December. Comparing 2020 to previous years really shows how strong the second half of the year has been. You can see it here in this chart. You'll continue to see the headlines for the next few months, especially in the seasonally adjusted numbers. So when you compare the fall of 2020 to a normal 3rd and 4th quarter, it's actually just nuts. So expect the seasonally adjusted reports from NAR or the government, for example, to be even more exaggerated than the unadjusted numbers that we, for example, report here. So prices finished 2019 at 306,000. So you can see with even a few weeks of pullback in December ahead of us, how far ahead we're going to finish the year-over-year comparisons. Right now, we're about 10% price increase year over year. The newly listed cohort also ticked down to 299, which is actually closer to 12% higher than last year at this time, and will also recede, especially Christmas and New Year's week, before we reset in 2021. Okay, that's the data for this week. As always, stay tuned here, subscribe to the channel. If the data begins to change, you'll see it here first. Join us Wednesday for the monthly webinar, and we'll look at some of the, we'll also look at some of the local markets, including some of the Zoom towns where, you know, the remote work really took place and boomed a ton this year. So we're going to check in on those and see how they're holding up after such an incredible year. Realtors, register in the link below for the webinar. Don't miss it on Wednesday. Thank you as always. More data soon.